You're now tuning into
The Cover Gang.
What's going on, Cover Gang fam? We're here to recap our Week 15 picks against the spread. So this week, favorites covered a whole lot. 10, would you say 10, 3 and 2 so far through the
3 and 2.
through the first 15 games? Another week where it's probably one we should have done worse because our strategy, we've had to adapt a lot, and you can tell. But this year, you can't just blindly pick underdogs. It's not the side that wins more often this year. The favorites are covering at a better clip right now than underdogs by 3%, 4%, which is usually flipped. But I went 9-6 on this week, and then Tyler, you went 7-6-2. You had the unfortunate 2 pushes, and you pretty much called the Bears Brown one. You were like, you'll probably cover the 3.5, and I'll push. But yeah, that's exactly what happened. And the unfortunate, you got the Vikings at +3. It was 3.5 on the Lookahead, the recap last Monday. So yeah, it's unfortunate pushes for you, but we're on opposite sides on this last game of the slate, the Monday Night Football. The line has moved against you a little bit. I got Seahawks +4. You got Eagles -3.5. But that's it for Week 15.
Yeah, still don't know if Jalen Hurts or Geno they're both game time decisions. Jalen Hurts has an illness. Geno's still dealing with that groin injury that kept him out of last week's game. Yeah, no, that's what's weird about making picks on Wednesday nights. I sat there and I hawked and just waited to see, and I did. I finally got the 3.5 with Minnesota, so I did cover that one. And then if we would have recorded Friday instead of Wednesday, the best you would have got is Bears +3, and then there was some juice on Browns -2.5. So I hit the 2.5. That ended up being one of my bigger plays of the week was Browns -2, and once it got under 3.
Yeah.
So it, for the contest, it's not too good, but another profitable week. Not having to pay anything in, so a little bit of extra money for Christmas time. It's always nice.
Yeah, picking games on Wednesday, it's like you have to take where you think the value in the line is at that date, because it literally, this week it did matter. Most of these spreads haven't mattered as much this year. They've been kind of like they just cover and win outright, but this week it did matter. half points mattered in a couple. So it does matter when you're picking some Wednesday games if you just try to get the best of the number, but yeah, it's been a tough year, man. Favorites are still killing it. We had a cool down on them in Week 14. They did pretty bad, and the public got pretty dismantled. But this week, I still think a lot of the public sides didn't do that well. There were some public dogs like the Jets, the Giants, and the road favorite Falcons was huge public side. The public didn't do that great, but still not a great week for underdogs or sharps as a whole. But yeah, it was interesting to watch. The one that's crazy, I think, is that we covered the Texans. We played the gamble. We're like, at this point, I would take the Texans and just hope that C.J. Stroud plays, but they just win without him. I kind of felt like that number was just so juiced. There's no reason to take Titans -3, but...
Well, I thought I was like Davis Mills, and then that means Davis Mills is going to play. So I was like, oh, this bet is dead, because I said it on air. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle some on, and I didn't even really pay attention. They said CJ was out, and I was like, dang, Dave, I got a little bit of money on Davis Mills, and Case Keenum was the backup. He played. Yeah, so I was like, okay,
we have a chance. Here. Yep.
Yeah, and then he threw a pick 6, and I was like, well, never mind. And that ended up going into overtime, and it was almost going to be a tie. And I was kind of hoping for a tie, because that would shake up this AFC playoff race if the Texans would have had a tie. Because Bills, it's looking like that they're probably going to have to win out. They obviously routed the Cowboys yesterday, but it's looking like they're going to have to win out to make the playoffs. So who knows? Even though Shane Steichen and the Colts, they're looking pretty good. CJ, he's down a bunch of weapons, and the Texans, first year, you want the best matchups when it comes playoff time, just as a fan.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping the Bills can squeeze in there somehow.
Yeah, me too. My Super Bowl prediction, I got a futures bet for them to win. I hope they can actually make a run for it, but at this point, it does seem like, I feel like it's an NFC kind of year, but we'll see what happens. It's getting
Well, one of the best NFC teams went to Buffalo yesterday, and it did. That was my Super Bowl prediction at the beginning of the year was Bills Cowboys, and yeah, Bills took Josh Allen. He only threw for 90 yards. They just ran the ball down the Cowboys' throat. Cold, rainy game.
I listened to the sharps on that one and the Lions. I'm glad I did. I literally would have taken the other sides, and it's like I'm glad I did.
Talk about the Lions, Broncos, but oh my gosh.
Yeah, the Lions just that was a letdown spot apparently for the Broncos. But hey, sharps were on that like heavy, and I don't know. I was a little uneasy about taking Lions as the favorite, but. Yeah, it was. I mean, the ones we nailed, like absolutely nailed. We both had a unit and a half, I think, on them was the Ravens and the Dolphins, because just not really that easy to pick in that spot. Like those are kind of tough favorites to pick right there. But I feel pretty good that we nailed it, because it's just so against what we do normally to take Ravens like that. But it was dead on.
You had a bad beater too, because I think at the time the best of the number you could have got was like 9. So Kansas City they won by 10. So that one was close. And then I had I recommended a double unit on Cards plus 13.5.
Yeah.
The 49ers are looking ahead to Baltimore next week, which is a line I want to go over before we get off here. And yeah, it's just 45 points on the road. I mean, this 49ers team, it's just...
They're the reason that away favorites, like they're holding that percentage really high, because they've been away favorites like every week.
They're just covering whatever number you throw out at them.
Yeah.
Right now, they have to be the best team against the spread this year. Have to be.
They're up there, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy to think we're about to make some picks for week 16. We're like right coming down to the wire right here. Thursday night football, got an interesting one. We can jump in and make a pick for that if you want, or we can talk about this spread that you just mentioned. Which one do you rather do first?
Well, the marquee matchup next week, it's actually next Monday night. Ravens go to San Francisco. Do you already know what the spread is on that game?
No, I don't. Let's see.
Take a guess.
Don't look. Ravens at San Francisco.
In San Fran. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Ravens plus 2.5.
See, that's what I was thinking. Ravens plus 3.5. No, it's actually Ravens plus 5.5.
Wow. Sheesh.
Yeah. A lot of love to the 49ers. Not that much respect for this Baltimore team.
5.5. I was going to say maybe 4.5. Like I initially thought that, and then I tapered it down because I was like, that's too high.
That's what I seen it earlier. Let me see if we can still, because I want to lock that. I don't think it's going to 6. If anything, I think it goes down to maybe 4.5. So let's see if we can lock that.
I haven't looked at spreads on the Lookahead like I normally do. Gotta look at some of these games. That's Monday Night Football too?
Yeah, next week, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at that number, you gotta take Ravens. Got to.
Yep, plus 5.5. Nowhere offering a 6. I think, like I said, I think if anything, it goes down to
4.5. I see it at 4.
4. I see it at 4.
Yeah, 4 by kickoff. I like that. Yeah, I'll lock it in with you. 5.5. Take that right now because it's going to 4. I'm scared to double unit against the 49ers, man.
Triple unit.
5.5.
Right here.
I'll do a unit and a half on the Ravens, but it's hard to wager too much against the 49ers, honestly. They'll just take your money.
Nah, it's okay. We'll go over that on
it's a sharp
videos
pick.
Coming in.
It's going to 4. It's going to 4 by kickoff. Yeah, I like it. Maybe 3.5 for real. I like it.
Yeah. I've already hit it a couple times, but it'll end up being one of my biggest plays of the year.
Good call. Looks like we got some divisional matchups. We got some big favorites. Yeah, week 16 is gonna be wild, man.
Yeah, Bills favored by a lot against Chargers, as they should be or whatever. So I like the spreads. I glanced at them earlier. I like the spreads.
You're gonna take the Steelers at home to defend their turf, or are you gonna just fade them again, bro? I still feel like you couldn't have convinced. Like I think about the games last week that I could have flipped on, and it's like there were some that you could have talked me off, but not that one. I never would have taken the Colts right there. It just didn't make sense. But hey, they're just Steelers were one of the luckier teams all year too. But it just felt like so much more of the sharp side. I can't do it. I don't know.
I'm just happy that because they have a tough. They play the Bengals, and then I think they have one more tough game at the end of the year. I don't know. No, they play the Ravens again. So I'm just glad that Pittsburgh is not gonna be a wild card team and make the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Oh, I know
That
you
is,
are.
that,
Hey, and you
I
kind of
mean, they went 7-4. They're on a 3-game skid right now. I mean, it's just I've
yeah.
been saying it all year that this is not a well-run offense whatsoever, and they're overrated. Blah blah blah. Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky. They benched Trubisky going into the Bengals game. They're starting Duck Hodges.
Who was that, bro? Doug Hodges.
You remember Duck Hodges? Remember him? No, not Duck Hodges. Mason Rudolph.
Oh, Mason Rudolph. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
Who is
Old
Duck
Oklahoma
Hodges?
State boy.
What the hell is that?
He was the backup to Mason Rudolph when he got hurt for the
Oh.
Steelers a few years ago.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
People would show up
dude,
in, like,
Biscuits
Duck
is
costumes.
terrible, bro. Yeah, no wonder they need to bench him. He is terrible. But yeah, we didn't even talk about it. That Thursday night football game, you finally got your prediction true to come true about Brandon Staley and the G. You didn't say the GM, but hey, he's out the door too.
I'm surprised
Good
about the
riddance.
GM,
I mean,
honestly.
good riddance. Without Herbert, this team is literally looks like one of the worst teams in the league. And I mean, that just comes down to coaching because their roster is not in the bottom 5. But like you've been saying all year, I mean, Herbert goes down, they literally look like they would lose to the Cardinals. I mean, they just look stupid.
Notoriously, the ownership for the Chargers are cheap when it comes to coaches. So Belichick seems to be on the market. There's always, every NFL team that has an open spot wants Jim Harbaugh. I don't know if they would pay either one of them, but I mean, yeah, to have Justin Herbert, I could see. I don't know if Bills make a change. Bills or Steelers, like is it McDermott or Tomlin, either one on the hot seat?
I don't think so. I think they were close to being, but Tomlin is still in the air. But I don't know about that one. It's not been.
I've just been watching some takes on if you get a veteran defensive coach and then you have a good, Kellen Moore and Justin Herbert, they look pretty decent to start the year, and you have a superstar quarterback that it can work, and it's just I just don't know if they're. Maybe they go after Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator for the Lions, but I don't know. Somebody's gonna make the trip out to LA because Justin Herbert, he is a top 10 talent for sure.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was.
No,
I wasn't even
exciting.
watching that game, to be honest. Like they went up 3 touchdowns. I was like, I'm dead. I just like stopped watching. Then all of a sudden I opened the app and I was like, 60 points. I was like, oh my god. I looked at James. I was like, dude, he's getting fired tomorrow. And then she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, no, he's just getting fired. Like I was like, that's just how it is. And then the next thing you know, like at lunchtime, you get the alert, and I just forwarded it to her, and she was like, wow. I was like, yeah. Tyler's been waiting on this one.
4 or 5 weeks too late.
Yeah, for sure. Everything fell apart for them pretty bad here at the end.
So I got another question combined with a question for you.
All right.
Who do you believe in more as of right now, Jordan Love or Justin Fields?
That's tough. That is
do you
tough.
think? So the Bears,
I just haven't seen enough of Jordan Love to know, but it
was his first year starting. But the Bears, they swapped picks with the Panthers at the beginning of during the draft to get Bryce Young. So right now they have the 1st overall pick and the 5th overall pick. So as we've been saying, Justin Fields, he's playing for every game. It's like he's playing for his career. He was playing in the dog pound. I think he played pretty decent, but I don't know.
The Bears are in an interesting situation with their draft capital. Like that is a very tough decision. It could change the outlook of that franchise for the next decade. Like it's a pivotal, it's a highly sought after QB class prospect, obviously, and it's just like he's a slow developing. Like he's somewhat like he's consistent. When he was bad, and now he's like getting better slowly. It's like He's one that seems like he definitely needs time to grow. Jordan Love, I can't figure it out. It's like 1 week you're like, oh, he's a starting quarterback, and then 1 week you're like, he's definitely not a starting quarterback. So
I think he
I
played
can't.
well yesterday, though.
Yeah,
I don't think he played bad. Baker just the Green Bay defense played horrible. I don't know what that was about.
I think you will always need, for Justin Fields to be a quarterback long term, you'll always need some kind of scheme. I just feel like Jordan Love is the more true quarterback. Like he's actually good at throwing. That's just what I think. But I mean, but
Matt Eberflus, I mean, he's a defensive minded coach. That's who they brought in. I don't know if he'll have a second year in Chicago or not, but I don't know. They have a lot of, like I said, as of right now, they have the number 1 pick, and then the Patriots have the 2nd pick. So, if Patriots get rid of Bill and go all in, if they believe in Justin, they could get a lot of picks for that top spot for whoever goes after Caleb.
I'm not gonna lie, like I think their decision was made, but then the way he's been playing the last few games, it's like he makes it hard. He's gonna make it a hard decision right here at the end for them. Like it was a clear decision.
If they draft a quarterback, I think Justin Fields is a starting quarterback somewhere next year.
Yeah, I think so. I just think he really needs some kind of certain scheme for himself, though. He's just not a great pocket passer right now. He's getting better though. Like he is getting better. It's
maybe
just
from a dirty bird in the offseason.
Falcons. Yeah, that makes sense. And that's a team that makes sense for him. I like that. That's a good fit. Yeah,
but
let's get into this Thursday night football pick. Looks like the line already moved a little bit towards the Rams. It was +4, and now it's 4.5 on some books. We got the Saints coming on the road to the Rams. That was a bad beat too, the Commanders versus the Rams. We ain't talking about that, but yeah, so I'm gonna go back to the wheel. Like I've said, I think Saints had an unlucky covering streak early in the year. They're not as bad as their against the spread record, and I'm still gonna take them in this spot. It looks like the Sharps are liking the Rams a little bit more early, but I just think, I don't know. I think the Rams, they shouldn't have covered that number last week, so I'm gonna just play the reverse, that the Saints continue to fix their spread record, and I like +4.5. It's some decent value. Hopefully they get Chris Olave back in this one, which is their main target. I like Saints on the road here. The Rams home stadium, it's not really that important, and it's Thursday night. Yeah, I like Saints +4.5 pretty good, but I'll just take a regular unit because it's Thursday night football.
Yeah, same here. I'm with you. +4.5 regular unit. It kind of seems like the books know something that I don't know. I would put this game at 3.5. And for some reason it's up to 4.5. So it's a little sketchy, but yeah, I'll ride with the Saints too. Both these teams are, a lot of playoff aspirations on the line for both of them. Saints hoping, I think as of right now they're the 7th seed. Or they might have just got edged out because the Rams won. So it's like the Rams are the 7th seed and the Saints are the 8th because the Bucks are winning the South, but they have a chance to still win the division outright too. So yeah, but like I said, playoff implications for both sides. Stafford, he's throwing darts, but
I don't get the line here. 2 points worse than the or better than the Commanders, like the Saints. I just don't get the line. I feel like Saints may lose, but by like a field goal or 2 points or something. That's just what I think. But
yeah, I could see that too. So, but watching the Saints play, it disgusts even against the Giants.
You can't watch too close. Yeah, I had to just turn that game off.
He's so animated and stuff too, and I'm like, who are you? Matthew Stafford, he just, no matter what, he's just throwing darts. Kyron Williams runs the ball well, so. That's why it's just a regular unit, but like I said, it just passes through too many key numbers. 3.5.
Down at -3. You're making me make a tough decision. I'll be honest. And
Even
minus,
at 3.5, it's kind of tough. But like I said, once you get to 4.5, that's just too many key numbers.
Saints should
So,
cover
yeah,
this. Yeah. All right. Well, we're aligned. Saints should cover. We're gonna do the normal 1 o'clock slate predictions this Wednesday. So make sure to tune into that. We're coming off another profitable week. We're trying to close out the year really hot because favorites are killing it, and we've had to adapt. But that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna adapt. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Like the video if you enjoyed the content.
Well, another thing too,
Go ahead.
it won't just be 1 o'clock because you'll have let's see.
We have Saturday.
Yeah, we got two. There's two games on Saturday. For some reason, I was thinking the 24th was Saturday. But,
Oh yeah, that's right.
uh,
Bengals at
yeah.
Steelers, Bills at Chargers. Okay.
yeah. So we'll be covering those as well as the 1 o'clocks in that video. But anyways,
Okay. Yeah. So make sure to tune into that, and we'll hope to dial it in again in week 16. Thanks for tuning
3
in
weeks
as
left,
always.
baby.
Yep. It's getting down to the wire. It's crunch time, so we're gonna steer you in the right direction to cover the spread as always. Peace.
Peace.